Thanks for watching. That's very nice. I hope you brought your lobster. We have a wall-to-wall show for you tonight, starting with Mark Wahlberg and ending with the Wallflowers. And the Secret Service is in the building, too, because you know how Donald Trump was always asking where Hunter is? Well, he's here in our building. He's been here the whole time, it turns out. Son of Joe, Hunter Biden, is with us, too. Hunter's here promoting his new memoir in which he chronicles, among other things, his crack addiction. This book is wild. He bought crack right here on our block. Can you imagine that? Crack in this neighborhood of all places? That has to be fake news. Anyway, I have many questions for Hunter, and since he's here, I'll ask them. And hey, you know who else is writing a book? Mike Pence, the former vice poodle, is putting Pence to paper. He signed a 2-book deal with Simon Schuster. I wonder if he knows they're a gay couple, Simon and Schuster. A release date has not yet been announced, but the title has. It's going to be called Ass Kisser, and I like it. It's simple. It's to the point. Pence's publisher calls this the definitive book on one of the most consequential presidencies in American history. Oh, it was consequential, all right. It was. I agree with that. The book will cover not just Pence's time in the White House, but his whole life, including traumatic family events, like the time he saw Mother without her bonnet, and it even opens up about the time in college he experimented with almond milk. So I can't wait. I look forward to it. This will be the only time pages got wider after words were printed on them. Speaking of wild and crazy guys, there's a new wrinkle in the ongoing drama surrounding Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Federal investigators are reportedly looking into a trip Gaetz took to the Bahamas a couple of years ago and whether or not one of his associates paid travel and other expenses for female escorts, which would be a violation of sex trafficking laws. The CBS News report says Gaetz was on the trip with a guy named Jason Pirazzolo, who's a hand surgeon and marijuana entrepreneur. By the way, if your hand surgeon is also a marijuana entrepreneur, probably a good idea to learn to write with your feet. But a spokesperson from Matt Gaetz's office said, and I quote, "Matt Gaetz has never paid for sex." Imagine having to tell your spokesperson to say that. Hey, spokesperson, tell him I never paid for sex. You tell him. I don't know. I don't want to tell him. It's your job. Fine, I'll tell him. But we also learned today that another friend and close associate of Gaetz seems likely to strike a deal with prosecutors. Joel Greenberg, he's seen here with Gaetz and pardoned criminal Roger Stone, seems to know a lot about Gaetz's extracurricular activities. He is in hot water, too. And with that said, I present Fritz Scheller, attorney at law, because you can't have a story like this one without a lawyer with crazy hair.
Does Matt Gaetz have anything to worry about?
Does Matt Gaetz, that is such a...
when it comes to what happened today in court.
Does he have anything to worry about? And you're asking me to get into the mind of Matt Gaetz, right? And...
well, from your mind.
From my mind.
Based on what your client knows.
Based on what my client knows. Okay. I'm sure Matt Gaetz is not feeling very comfortable today. Right?
Yeah. I think he gets paid by the hour is what happened. Now might be a fun time to remind people of this tweet Matt Gaetz posted just before Michael Cohen testified in Congress about his former boss, Donald Trump. Hey, Michael Cohen, do you and your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends? Maybe tonight would be a good time for that chat. I wonder if she'll remain faithful while you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot. Oh, karma, you old rascal, you.
Client introduced Matt Gaetz to any underage girls for sexual relations.
All right, so I'm just going to let you sit down there, and so I can look over your head and ignore that question.
All right, well, at least he's having fun with this. Well, good luck to Matt Gaetz. Maybe he just loves Trump so much he wants to go to jail with him. Is that possible? Much of the country is opening. Whether we should be opening or not, the state of Georgia today lifted all remaining COVID restrictions, which means Georgians will now be free to get the virus anywhere at any time from anyone. Governor Brian Kemp said they decided to do away with the restrictions because hardworking Georgians cannot endure another year like last. And if they get COVID, they might not have to. It's always interesting to compare where we are now to where we were 12 months ago. And with that said, it's time to fire up the time capsule for a peek at what was in the news 1 year ago this week in tonight's edition of This Week in COVID History.
This week in COVID history. It's April 2020. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is in the hospital. The City of Angels has the cleanest air. And everyone is head over heels for gay, polygamous, tiger-owning felons.
Ow, son of a bitch!
In other words, everything is Luckily, things are starting to look up.
We are inching closer and closer to beating this virus.
It feels like we're seeing the light at the end of this tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Things are going really well. Again, light at the end of the tunnel.
Hot diggity dog, light at the end of the
What you're hearing about light at the end of the tunnel doesn't take away from the fact that tomorrow, the next day, it's going to look really bad.
All right, Dr. Boner Killer, how bad is it going to get?
The minimum number was 100,000 lives, and I think we'll be substantially under that number.
Less than 100,000 deaths? No problem.
If we can stay substantially under the 100, which was the original projection, I think we all did a very good job.
Yes, great work, team. This has been This Week in COVID History.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Hindsight is infuriating. It's funny to me, even though we have all that stuff on tape, but with Trump saying COVID will be over by Easter, the light at the tunnel, predicting less than 100,000 deaths, there are people who still support him and think he did a great job, even to the point where it damages them personally. Like Mike Lindell. You know that Mike Lindell, America's favorite pillow merchant, he claims that after Kohl's and Bed Bath & Beyond pulled his MyPillows from their shelves, his company suffered a loss of $65 million in revenue, which is a lot of dollars. So I thought it might be interesting to check in with Mike, who we've never had on the show before. And so we reached out, now from a location unknown, Mike Lindell from MyPillow. Mike, are you there? Mike?
So I said, you know, if that means you're not a cow, that doesn't mean that I'm not a farmer. You try telling that to millions of people out there that are honest, hardworking.
Mike, it's Jimmy Kimmel. Can you hear me?
Mr. President!
No, not Mr. President. It's Jimmy Kimmel.
Who?
Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't care for him.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, I am him, and we're on the show, and I have some questions for you. Okay, Mike?
Yeah, great. That's good.
Okay, is it true that MyPillow lost $65 million in revenue because of these conspiracy theories?
I tell you, that is so true. My company, MyPillow, which makes the most beautiful soft foam rubber sacks stuffed with passion by white people in my home state of Minnesota. We suffered a $65 million loss because left-wing media outlets have painted a picture of me as some kind of crackpot, even though I haven't done crack or pot in years.
Yeah, well, is it possible that people think you're crazy because you often say crazy things?
No, that's just you better watch it, or I'll get your IP address. You hear me, you punk?
Yeah, okay.
The only thing crazy I see around here is Dominion. Dominion is building voting machines that only cast ballots for Democrats.
Okay.
Instead of what they should be working on.
Which is what?
Which is robots that can tell if you're a gay.
Oh.
I lost $65 million, and I tell you what, I'd happily lose $65 million more if that's the cost of telling the American people the truth.
Okay.
And the truth is, Joe Biden's dogs are covert operatives here to steal state secrets and sell them to Chinese Burisma Holdings to buy these Q-tips. You know Q?
Yeah?
Yeah, these are his tips.
Oh.
These are his tips. Where we go one, we go on.
But what was that you were saying about Chinese Burisma?
They've got holdings.
Oh.
Why don't you ask your buddy Hunter Biden about Burisma Holdings? What is Burisma Holding? And why won't anybody hold me? My pillows are guaranteed.
I know they're guaranteed, but let's not focus on pillows, and that's illegal, by the way. I understand
You bring your guys after me for that, I dare you.
Okay. Now, I heard you're about to launch your own social media network called Frank. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's right. I can tell you everything about that. Frank will have no content or content restrictions whatsoever. This is America, and freedom means being free to post anything you want. Conspiracy theories, beheading videos, those TikToks where the girls dance and make faces, but they don't move their feet. You watch those? You ever watch those?
No, I can't say that I do.
Holy hell, Jimmy, let me tell you, they get me hard, I'll tell you.
Oh.
As hard as my pillows are soft.
Okay, well, Mike, I'm not, yeah.
I don't even need YouTube or Twitter anymore because I called my nephew Judo and I said, make me a website that's better than both of them combined and can handle 1 billion people. And then the line went dead because my jitterbug phone is being shadow banned by Boost Mobile.
What?
But Judo is working on it, and he said he'll have us up and running in 8 weeks.
Okay. Now, I heard you're giving bonuses to people on your new network if they can get kicked off YouTube. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm giving out bonuses to anyone kicked off YouTube and anyone who gets kicked out of a Starbucks for blowing in a stranger's ear.
Okay. All right. All right. So, yes, you're...
Have you ever seen those TikToks where the girlies, they dance and they make faces, but they don't move their feet? Holy hell, I tell you, it makes me hard. Yeah,
it was
with a pillow.
Very good talking to you, Mike. I appreciate it.
My kids haven't spoken to me since 2002.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for joining. Hey, what's with the pigeons in the cage there?
Pigeons are a symbol of quality. Every MyPillow is stuffed with 100% New York City pigeon feathers. Guaranteed.
Okay, well, that is disgusting. Thank you, Mike.
I said it's mine.
All right.
They're all mine.
All right.
It's MyPillows. I'm coming for you next.
Okay, that's Mike Lindell, my pillow guy. Thank you very much, Mike. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is the Internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.